Hey everybody, CVH here, and today we're going to be taking Midrange Spellsword to the ladder. So before I actually jump into some games, I want to do a few words about the deck. The deck list you can see on screen is what we'll be playing today in a couple games and seeing how it performs. It was actually a slightly updated version of a deck given to me by Mitsuhide, a Hearthstone player, on Twitter, and I told him about a week and a half ago or something like that I was excited to test it out and see how it went. But as it turned out, I did try hard for a good legend push, so I didn't want to play it on ladder at the moment. Didn't really want to queue it in casual. And also, of course, if you're the kind of person who's out there watching my videos the day I post them, every day, first of all, thank you very much, and second of all, I'm sorry for the lack of content. I've been pretty swamped recently with some real-life stuff, and I've been streaming every single day. Between Twitch and the YouTube, I do prioritize streaming every day, at least for the time being, so that's where a lot of my time has gone. But yeah, I'm excited. This is probably the last gameplay video you'll see until April 5th, the Fall of the Dark Brotherhood, I think. I have videos planned for the next 2 days before that set releases. Then obviously we'll be playing in the new meta. So I'm excited to queue this up on ladder. If we're only going to have one gameplay video left in this current metagame, you could say, it seems like the perfect time to experiment and see how this goes. So yeah, let's talk about the deck a little bit more. As you can see, people have actually suggested to play some Midrange Spellsword, and I'm not sure if I know a good build, so I'm still not sure if I know a good build, but I do know an interesting build. This one, it seems pretty mid-rangey to me. We are heavily emphasizing the guard, so we could really punish some early aggression if people are trying to queue up with aggro. This might be control mage, that's a bit of a problem. We do have the benefit of curving into cards like Manticore. I think I'm going to ship and try to find a more proactive 2-drop. A 1/4 just gets executed, really. But we have 36, I believe, Endurance cards for the Stalwart Ally. I had this deck built for a while. We're actually not playing Piercing Javelin because there's just no space, and Edict is, more Magicka efficient, and we have a lot of guards, so we shouldn't really need to rely on Prophecies too much. Got some interesting card choices like Watch Commander. As you can see, it's the one rare in the deck I don't have premium. It hasn't earned it yet, but we'll see if maybe it can earn it in this video. Alright, I'm actually going to make myself a bit smaller. I must have been recording a different video. Don't want to cover up the Magicka there. We are good to go. Greetings. Walk on warm sands, all that good stuff.
This day will be mine.
Start with a Windkeep Spellsword.
Be on your guard.
On just 1 second. Well, I should probably make my turn play first. I need to edit one thing in the scene that I'm using currently. So we're going to play Dragentail Savior, and do we want to preemptively attack? A lot of this play turns out, it comes down to whether or not he can top deck execute, right? If we play the Dragentail Savior and preemptively attack, could be just letting him trade 1-for-1 with the Windkeep Spellsword for free, because we can double trade next turn and get a favorable. I think that's what we're going to go for. He could be moving into a Lightning Bolt turn as well, so we should probably just do this and make sure we can kill it with just the Spellsword if need be.
Stand fast. Be on your guard.
Alright, I think that should be better sound-wise. Not sure, but it should be better. Another Camlorn Sentinel. So not ideal. We do need to start punching so we can get Eastmarch Crusader online. Again, we could set up the double trade. We could also just play the Midnight Sweep and trade with the second, or one half of the Midnight Sweep and one half of the Dragentail Savior. I think that's fine.
Too late for you. I live.
Now, if we do this, and this 2/2 and the 3/1 sticks, next turn we could go Eastmarch Crusader into a 2-drop, maybe the Faroon Defender. Maybe not. Who knows? I should get some music on, too.
By our service, we honor kind.
Stand fast.
Loyal Housecarl is somewhat problematic. We could silence, but it doesn't really seem too worth it. Our main goal for silencing would be to actually push enough damage to play Eastmarch, which we can't do anyway. He will still be able to trade 1-for-1, so let's just trade, go face a bit, play Preserver of the Root, I guess is probably our best call this turn.
Too late for you. Kill them all.
I would protect the Hist.
I don't really like playing it against, well, any blue class, if I can help it before it gets the +2/+2, because Lightning Bolt's such a relevant threat.
Can't escape.
Burn it all to the ground.
Just contesting it with the Pillaging Tribune seems okay. I guess he didn't want to heal. So that either tells me he made a mistake, or it tells me that he wants the card. Well, I want to give him the card too, because I really want to play Eastmarch Crusader this turn, so he's going to get his wish. Yep.
By bark and roots.
And we could play East March in the left to contest that as well. East March, Defender, but we don't really need to, because if this lives, it'll just get buffed to +2/+2. So we can East March on the right, I think.
We'll hold, no matter what.
And simply Defender, eat the trade. It's not very good. What if we simply played Windkeep Spellsword, next turn we went Fern Defender, Watch Commander? It's not very good either. I think we play the Spellsword though. It's likely he has more removal for this regardless. So even if I don't get the trade the way I want it, like I'm just feeding him a creature, and then he gets the trade with the Preserver of the Roots. So I'm not super into that. I think we'll just play Windkeep Spellsword.
This state will be mine.
Next turn we can go Defender, Watch Commander, and at least get like a guaranteed buff on the Defender. So moving into these later turns, of course, cards like Golden Saint and Manacora are what we want to be drawing if possible. Control Mage is one of the decks that seems like it's probably the best at answering us. He's playing the Prophecy-heavy version, as we can see by all the prophecies. We could just double guard now and set up for a bigger Watch Commander. The biggest we can get it is probably better here. Do we play Stalwart in the left? We already have this to contest the right. I think that's fine.
I will be your shell and keep you.
Alright, we hit it, that's good. Next turn we can be Magicka efficient if we draw anything that costs 3 or less. Not the tallest order. It's a good bit of our deck. And he's not at his super powerful turns yet as Control Mage. Could just have a handful of prophecies. That is okay with me. Man, oh, we were so close. Midnight Sweep Watch Commander would be so wonderful. Watch Commander probably has to come out now, though, if we want to trade favorably with that 2/4. If we sweep, then he's just going to kill one of the sweeps, and feels a little counterproductive.
Look alive, soldier. Face my blade.
We have solid control of the board. We are not particularly weak to Ice Storm since only one of our guys dies to it. He's only on 8. He has 1 charge of the ring left, but he can't play Manticore this turn.
Elements,
Nor the next turn.
summon thee.
See, this is pretty interesting. This is what I'm talking about. If you have control of the field lane when they play Atromancer, they typically play it in the shadow lane. So far, this will basically just die, and we can simply silence that. We could just play Golden Saint and go super aggro. We would never die next turn unless we hit just a ton of prophecies. You guys know what I was going to say there. It would have to be that many, though, for us to die. Like, silencing this is obviously safe-ish. We do have 14 damage. We can leave him at 10. That's very enticing. Golden Saint is a very powerful play as well. Like, we probably should play the Saint. Should we trade with that, though? I think we'll start attacking with other things first and see how this goes. Play around Firestorm, I guess? Yeah. Nah, play around Javelin. That's our highest priority on the board to keep alive. It will be eating that 5 damage, hopefully. I guess obviously the worst is Fate Weaver. Yeah, he's gonna be blocking that.
Don't make me laugh.
Gotta be honest, guys. I want this damage. I want it bad. And we curve our mid-range strategy into Manticora next turn. So another Atromancer with the Atromancer on board deals 10. And we're at a solid 24 life, so he has to prioritize clearing the board. And since he wrung out the Manticora, he can no longer play... Excuse me, he wrung out the Atromancer, so he can no longer play his Manticora. Of course, our Manticora might get Manticora'd, but we're trying to put him in a situation where if he does that play, he's dead on board. Or we just kill him next turn. That'd be great, but a little unlikely since he has so many things on board to trade with. But the problem with this prophecy-heavy version of the Mage deck is that besides select few cards like Atromancer and Manticora, a lot of things just aren't Magicka efficient, as we saw on his turn 7 when he just played Dark Harvester. Very weak turn 7 play, just adding 2/4 on board.
Curse you.
My Defender's at 2/4. Well, now it's not, but it was for a second there. This is a relatively powerful play. Wish that was Devoth Fear. Did not roll high on that one. Well, fortunately, he still has to trade. I mean, I'd be shocked if he didn't trade. But I guess there's a chance he doesn't trade.
Behold my power.
He does have 6 magicka left. Well, isn't that just huge? I can't believe there's so many Desperate Conjurings. Ooh, I mean, it's not a threat if it can't actually attack me. We don't have a whole... not many magic efficient plays besides just the Manticora. And I don't mind the Manticora, I really don't. I just know it's going to get blown up by his own Manticora, and that's kind of swingy. That's an issue. Because I could just plate my 4-2, keep it alive. But then I play Midnight Sweep, and it just gets eaten by these. If I Manticora, this has to die, right? It's a 13-13. It's pretty large. I mean, you could have Piercing Javelin as well. That's not nearly as threatening as a Manticora. Alright, alright. Alright. Dawn's Wrath, not the worst. He won't be developing if he plays Dawn's Wrath. The issue of Manticora is that all of a sudden he has full control of both lanes. We could punch for another 2 after we silence. Of course. Alright, well. At least he used his Desperate Conjurings. I have a feeling he probably doesn't have more, right? I mean, he just played 2 of them, so we can't really put him on having more. Because if you Desperate Conjuring a Manticora, which is why people used to play Desperate Conjuring a lot in these decks, it either turns into Iron Atronach or Odahviing, both of which are huge bummers for this deck. So let's draw a card first, and probably play Edict and something. Hive Defender, Edict, perhaps? Shadow and Priest actually adds the most damage to the board. We can silence that as well. It's not really doing anything right now, but it would let me diversify the lanes, because it would simply turn into a 3-3. Or I could keep playing on the right, which means I'm playing around Ice Storm, playing around Firebolt, not playing around Dawn's Wrath. I like that. I mean, he's clearly not attacking me for much. But you might as well play the thing with the highest value attack and, you know, remove guard. Because it might be relevant in the future if we have to play a Prophecy Creature or something over there, hit him in that lane. Might be something to do. Something to consider.
You cannot hope to outrun destiny.
Am I seeing double? Alright, well, he's letting me punch for 2. Instead of eating a favorable. I can see that. So now we are on the we can no longer play around Odahviing plan. He had double Desperate Conjuring, Atromancer, Manticora, and Mirok. I say if he has Odahviing, he deserves the win at this point. That's just how I feel about it. Our most magic efficient play is Hive Defender, Sweep, Shadowfin. If we play Hive Defender, Shadowfin, and play around Ice Storm, we can no longer play Sweep, and I feel like we just want to play as many things as possible. We can punch down to 8, and we'll have just, I think, a little bit too many things to clear. If this survives, he kills one of these in the left. He kills both of them in the right. Well, it'll be like 1 off lethal, I think. But I mean, you know, Watch Commander at that point is lethal. Man, this is tricky. This is definitely not a safe play against Control Mage.
I live to serve.
He's kind of had the stuff he needs so far. Odahviing here, we probably just lose immediately. Ice Storm here, we probably just lose immediately. This is an Ice Storm or an Odahviing. Pretty much guaranteed. Alright, well, it was the less devastating one, I guess. You go in there, Firm Defender. You take a trade with that 11 drop, or that 5 drop, which is correct, but we can dream. Well, we're still at 17. It's unlikely he has a whole lot more to do this turn. That pretty much just tells us he doesn't have Odahviing, right? Because that would have been a prime Odahviing. Would have been able to keep more stuff alive. And probably kill me next turn. Desperate Conjuring number 3, guys. Whoa. Well, that's a good draw, I would say. Yeah, that kills me with a lightning bolt. I have to imagine he has a lightning bolt. But even if we get rid of that, lightning bolt's still a problem, because I have to develop, I think, just every piece of damage in my hand right now and hope he just doesn't have an answer. It's kind of a... not a great play, but...
Training is over. It's time to act.
Still need to kill it. Fortunately, using all of our support removal doesn't seem to matter too much against Control Mage. I'd be shocked if there was a support, and then he just slams down a Mundus Stone, and the next turn he Odavings with Drain or something. Wouldn't be great. I don't think I've ever played a game in the last 6 months where did they go? 2 Ancient Giants. Look at this discard pile. Let me scoot over so you guys can really appreciate the glory of this. There are 2 Ancient Giants and 2 Maroks. Like, look at this. This is just beautiful. It's obviously not great for me right now, but it is a thing of beauty, depending on your definition of the word. Yeah. So Windkeep Spellsword, not the highest value draw there. We're looking for another Golden Saint would have been great, another Manticore would have been great. That's about all of the great draws we have remaining. We can answer the 5-3 very efficiently. Again, Manticore or Golden Saint seem to be our last remaining outs. Wow, he drew very well. Stalwart ally could stall. Alright, do we just turtle up in the right? We are dead if we don't. To any one creature being played. Hive Defender is pretty efficient, actually. Stalwart ally is a little bit less so. But we don't have any way to set up lethal unless we played them both in the left, so I guess we just turtle up in the right. Hope they both survive. I'll hope this one gets guard first. Might not. Alright, it did. No, this stuff always dies, so yeah, we have to trade with the 5-3. Doesn't make sense to go face there, give him another card. Still not set up lethal if we're playing both of these in the right. We could make like an incredibly risky play, but we haven't seen any lightning bolts yet. Of course, he could have a third Atromancer, and then we're just straight up dead. Well, are we straight up dead?
Elements,
About to find out.
A hard-fought victory.
It has been an engaging hunt.
Well, we put up quite a fight against... oh, thanks, Iliac Sorcerer. Right on time, buddy. Yeah, here comes the breakthrough damage. Man. That was one of the more unpleasant beatings I've received to Control Mage. He played a lot of cards that are bad in a lot of situations, but were all very good whenever they were played. Alright, let's queue up again, and let's not have that happen to us. That is the highest density of Ancient Giants that I've seen in a game of Elder Scrolls Legends. At least we dealt with them, right? They didn't smack me for 13. We got smacked by Maroks and Atromancers. Maroks. Multiple Maroks. And 3 Atromancers. Oh, that was nuts. That was just nuts. So I like... High Defender's gonna be really good. I'm tempted to keep the place because something to do on turn 2. We have so many better 2s. Warrior decks are like almost always aggressive at the moment. Either Orcs or something else taking advantage of the new monthly cards, Sower of Revenge. So yeah, let's just ship. Double ship. With the ring, I would probably keep the Hive Defender. Ooh, that's bad. Alright, that's good. That's ideal.
Magnus, God of Sorcery.
I'd rather have a plate than a Manticora. Shadowfen could be good depending on what kind of deck this is. There's a few Orcs that are good to silence. Chieftain's Banner, obviously. Alright, so we can pretty much just say it's Orcs, right? Pretty much. Hive Defender back, not bad. I think we want to aggressively attack. I don't really think, because even if we play this and don't attack, we can't kill that next turn. We do lose that basically for free, but yeah, Fire Defender is just good against these the ward guys. It's one of the things I like about the Orc deck right now. We just kind of have to eat the not amazing trades. Until we kind of blanks here. Because it looks like we're going to blank on the next turn. Right, that's not a blank, but it's not that bad, because we still should get a favorable over a couple turns. And that's not a blank either, so that's good. In theory, this is the kind of deck that this mid-range Spellsword with all the guards should be pretty good against. Yeah, that first game took a while. This is going to be a long video. Sorry, guys. I mean, you know, well, welcome to the video if you guys are a fan of those super long videos. You're in the right place for that. Alright, so we play Hive Defender, take back the board somewhat. Hopefully there's no good answer to this Defender immediately. We Shadow in something. God, if he just played like Banner and Pass here. I mean, a lot of the Orc decks aren't even playing Banner. Mummify. Okay, well that's still not really developing. Alright, that's somewhat... Oh, that's a good Shadowfen Priest target. That's exactly what that is. Sure. We'll play it in this lane. Golden Saint is huge against this deck. There is no good answer to a Golden Saint, if it can get its effect off, obviously. I'd say we put up quite a fight in that last game, you know, considering what happened to us.
Been too long since I've embraced my rage.
Stone Shard Orc back.
Let's run.
So we will be killing the 2/2 because we can still proc our Saint without going face with the 4/4. And we will be playing the Saint and denying him, hopefully, the ability to one-shot one half of the Saint with his Stone Shard that he just got back. Next turn, we probably just go 5th Legion, whatever else we have that's playable in our hand. Hopefully maintain control of this board. Plunder. Plunder's not a card I particularly love playing against. Mostly in Arena when it's played on me. Alright, we can still trade into that pretty well. Assassin's Bow. Never mind. Whatever. Sometimes they go Assassin's Bow. They actually don't, guys. I say sometimes they go Assassin's Bow. It's actually not a thing. But apparently it is occasionally. Alright, well, we have a lot of damage. We have the entire board. I don't think he has anything that costs 0, but I'm not going to put it past him. It could be a thing to just jam some raw Nord Firebrands at my face right now. And he's running Plunder. The synergy is there, guys. 5th Legion Defender is actually really good against the 6/2. Unless he plays another 6/2. Or unless he plays another Chieftain and buffs it, I mean. We probably should go face first. Because that's going to have cover. Doesn't look like it's covered yet. And he's just trying to see how long we can make this video. Well, we can make it pretty long. I do have to leave after this, though, so, I mean, hopefully not too long. I want to be late to my obligation. Do we plate first? Or do we want to plate the guard? We could plate a guard. I think we attack first, actually, and probably wind up plating the defender, or whatever needs plating the most. I don't think anything really interacts with these currently, so... Like, if he got a Morkel Gatekeeper or something, we could maybe trade favorably, yeah.
Mother of mud.
Alright, now we're done breaking runes, so we'll go 5th Legion, Defender, Plates, Iliac Sorcerer off the top. No, okay. Sometimes it works. Game just froze for a minute. That was weird. Waiting for opponent to reconnect. I think he knows. I think he knows he can't beat the Golden Saint. We'll wait for him. We have no choice, actually. But yeah, I feel like, you know, he had expended all of his Magicka last turn, so he hasn't actually skipped a turn. I feel like he's just dead on board and knows it, so he's probably tabbed out. Or like Rage shut off the computer as soon as Faroon Defender got in there. No, we hadn't played that yet. But still, this is the kind of deck that I think this Midrange Spellsword variant could potentially beat. Yeah, against the Control Mage, we were pretty good against the first Atromancer, we were pretty good against the first Manticora, the first Marok even. The Ancient Giants ate up a lot of our removal, which, you know, is an issue going into the super late game. Without, like, I don't know, if he had, like, one Desperate Conjuring or one Atromancer specifically less, we probably would have had a better shot at winning that game with some slightly above average draws. But yeah, I don't expect this deck to be super good against Control Mage. The fact that it went that long, or was that close, despite what he had, was probably due to it being the Prophecy heavy version, which doesn't have a whole lot of action a lot of the time against our beefier threats. But yeah, overall, like some control decks, if you're lucky, you can get a sick Watch Commander probably, and get out of range of Ice Storm and make things really difficult to clear. Really, you know, mid-ranging them down. But against a super aggressive deck, you could put Executes in the deck, would be okay. That would be okay. It would negatively impact your Stalwart ally endurance count, but it would be okay. Might be required, actually. Like I said, this is just an edited version of the one Mitsuhide sent me, Mitsuhide. So yeah, there's definitely some things to do. I just wanted to experiment with this deck a bit on ladder and sort of show it off, and this is actually the first couple games I've ever played with it, so I had no idea how it was going to go, but it seems like a lot of fun. Glad we were able to use our last gameplay video pre-Fall of the Dark Brotherhood to show off a really cool deck. If you've liked it, feel free to leave a like, feel free to comment your thoughts on the deck, anything else in particular. Leave a comment with anything you'd like to see on the channel, of course, always open to suggestions. Feel free to follow my stream link down below for daily streams. Feel free to subscribe to this channel for more strategy content, impressions videos, deck techs, gameplay videos, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.